A sudden zombie virus spreads throughout the city, leaving only a few survivors. The worst part is that every child born after the outbreak carries the virus from birth. Humanity now seems to be on the verge of extinction. The story begins with a young boy named Mark, who lives in a deserted forest with his father, Anthony, since childhood. He knows nothing about the outside world and has no friends. Anthony always stays silent and teaches him only two things. Outside the forest, zombies roam everywhere, and the remaining humans are even more dangerous than zombies. During the day, Anthony goes hunting and gives Mark a gun for protection. Mark spends his childhood listening to music and reading books. His storybook is very old, but he still loves reading it. The book even mentions a magical fairy. Since childhood, an M mark is engraved on his hand, and Mark believes it is a magical sign because his own name also starts with M. One day, while wandering in the forest, Mark sees a van. He feels afraid that someone might be inside, so he does not go near it, but he keeps wondering what could be inside. The next morning, while fetching water, he gathers courage and secretly enters the van. Everything inside looks clean, and even children's toys are placed there. He feels sure someone lives here. Suddenly, in the dark, a shadow appears, and Mark gets scared. But as it comes closer, he realizes it is just another boy. He gently gives Mark his toy, showing a wish for friendship. Mark takes the toy and in return, gives him his headphones. At first, the boy also feels afraid, but when he hears the beautiful music, a smile appears on his face. Since both are of the same age, they enjoy each other's company and quickly become friends. The boy's name is Mikey, and he has a very kind nature. After some time, Mikey has to leave, but before going, he gives his favorite toy to Mark without hesitation. While returning, Mark suddenly feels like someone is watching him. He tries to hide in the forest, but a woman with a gun stops him. When she notices the toy in Mark's hand, her attitude changes immediately. She kindly tells him to go home quickly, and even gives him some wild fruits. Mark realizes she is Mikey's mother because she recognizes her son's toy. Soon after, Mikey's mother, Angela, gets home and hugs her son tightly. Seeing this, Mark feels a little jealous. Back home, he hides the toy, but forgets to bring water, for which his father scolds him. In response, Mark hugs him, but Anthony pushes him away. Later, Mark meets Angela several times. Her affectionate words remind him of his own mother. One evening at dinner, he finally gathers courage to ask about his mother, but Anthony stays silent. Mark does not dare to ask further. Secretly, he watches him sitting outside and looking at a video. The next morning, Anthony goes hunting as usual, but suddenly loud screams and gunshots echo in the forest. Realizing something is wrong, he tells Mark to hide and leaves with a gun. Mark hides in the bushes and sees Angela sitting injured at some distance. A moment later, Anthony walks towards her with a gun and shoots her. Shocked, Mark cannot believe his father can be so cruel. Terrified, he runs back home and pretends to sleep on the bed. Soon, Anthony also returns, looking very disturbed. He keeps repeating the same words. "They have come, they have come." Mark puts on his headphones and pretends nothing has happened, but inside his mind, questions and fear keep rising. When Anthony finally falls asleep, Mark quietly takes the video camera that contains the beautiful memories of their family. These are moments when everyone lived happily, long before Mark was even born. In those videos, he sees that he once had an elder sister. In the next recording, his mother appears frightened and troubled. She tells little Mark, "My dear son, I love you so much." At that moment, Anthony's angry voice interrupts, and the video suddenly stops. Mark begins to suspect that his father killed his mother. Fear starts to grow inside him. One night, while Anthony is in deep sleep, Mark handcuffs him, packs his bag, and quietly leaves the house. He goes back to the van and soon finds his friend Mike. Mark tells him about escaping the forest, but Mikey wants to wait for his mother. Mark cannot hide the truth from his friend, so he explains everything. Seeing him upset, Mikey hugs him tightly, and for the first time, Mark feels the warmth of true belonging. Both boys move forward together, but suddenly Mark stops. Since childhood, he has lived with his father and has learned to sense danger. He quickly pulls Mikey into the bushes, and both narrowly escape from zombies. Even when the zombies keep coming, they continue running until they find an old broken car. Without thinking, they rush inside. Soon, a large horde of zombies surrounds the vehicle, shaking it violently as if ready to overturn it. Just when the boys are terrified, gunshots echo outside. One by one, the zombies start falling. The car door suddenly opens, and standing there is Anthony. That morning, he had found his son missing. He broke free from the handcuffs, tracked the signs of Mark's escape, and managed to arrive just in time to save him. He lifts Mark into his arms, relieved to see him unharmed. But soon, the distant cries of zombies are heard again. Without delay, Anthony pulls Mark out of the car to escape. Mark wants Mikey to come along too, but Anthony ignores the request. For the first time, Mark resists, pulling his hand free and screaming loudly. Anthony looks at him in shock, unable to believe this sudden defiance. He wants to explain something, but the zombies close in. Quickly, he hides Mark behind the roots of a tree and charges forward with his gun. Mark gathers courage, stands up, and from a distance, he watches his father fighting bravely, killing the zombies one by one and slowly moving towards Mikey's van. In that moment, Mark realizes how his father protects him with everything he has. Mark realizes that Anthony is not as bad as he once thought. But suddenly, a staggering zombie comes very close to him. There is no time to escape. Trembling, he raises his small gun and fires. Hearing the shot, Anthony panics, fearing something has happened to his son. He rushes up the hill, but a zombie suddenly attacks him. After a fierce struggle, he kills it and quickly reaches Mark. Relief spreads on his face when he sees his son safe. But then Mark notices a wound on his father's hand. While fighting earlier, a zombie had bitten him. His father now knows he cannot continue with his son. He takes a deep breath, slowly sits near a dried tree, and begins to feel strange changes inside his body. He explains that Angela had also been bitten by a zombie, and he feared she would turn. That is why he shot her. Mark shows him his mother's picture, and asks if she died the same way. His father nods and replies that Mark's mother was like a fairy, immune to bites. The mark on Mark's hand is also a fairy's sign. After the virus outbreak, some soldiers took her away. Hearing this, Mark realizes how wrongly he had judged his father. Anthony had always hidden his love in silence. Overwhelmed, Mark hugs him tightly, but regret comes too late. The virus spreads rapidly through Anthony's body. In his final moments, he tells his son to run. Then his eyes turn lifeless, and he becomes a zombie. Mark runs and finds Mikey in the car. Holding his hand, they move forward together. Suddenly, a gunshot echoes from the hill. Mark understands the bullet has struck his father, ending his life. Sorrow fills him, but his heart grows stronger. Now he feels determined to find his mother. Two boys wander through the desolate forest. While playing along the way, they unknowingly reach a human settlement. Near the railway tracks, they see an old man resting in the sun. Hungry, they ask him for food. The man pities them and shares what he has. When he hears that Mark is searching for his mother in the land of fairies, sadness clouds his face. It seems that someone dear to him was there, or perhaps that place does not exist at all. He wishes to help them, but cannot leave, because all his children have turned into zombies. To avoid killing them, he has locked them inside cages. The man feels happy to see Mark and Mikey alive, spared from the infection. Still, he grieves for the many children lost to the virus. Encouraging the boys, he tells them to keep moving forward. Perhaps they will find a cure. After saying goodbye, Mark and Mikey continue along the railway tracks. Soon they discover a broken train. For the first time, they see something so huge, and wonder fills their eyes. After playing near the engine, they walk towards the rear compartments, only to find them full of zombies. Terrified, they run. But suddenly, two armed thugs appear and point their guns at them. The boys are dragged to an abandoned factory, where a gangster waits. The boss is shocked to see two uninfected children. Mikey's innocent face and clear eyes make him believe the boy is an angel sent from heaven, for in such a world, true humanity seems impossible. The gangster decides to keep Mikey close as someone special, but he orders his men to kill Mark, saying only one healthy child is enough. One thug, however, softens after seeing the picture of Mark's mother. Sympathy rises in his heart for the boy. Meanwhile, the gangster speaks into his walkie-talkie, summoning the rest of his men to join him. The thug seizes the opportunity and frees Mark, thinking that if one more child stays alive, the world will still have hope. Mark, being loyal, does not run away alone. Instead, he waits for all the thugs to fall asleep, then sneaks into Mikey's room. In the dark, both slowly move forward and escape from the hideout. The next morning, the gangster boss discovers the children have fled. Furious, he shoots one of his own men. Meanwhile, Mark searches for supplies inside a building. For the first time, he puts on clean clothes and prepares to meet Mikey outside. But he soon learns the gangster has tracked him there with his men. They surround Mikey and prepare to capture the missing Mark. Suddenly, a drone appears from above, firing bullets that kill the boss and all his men. Mark rushes down and sees soldiers emerging from a safe zone. He is about to approach them, but Mikey shakes his head to stop him. Just then, a soldier moves toward Mark's hiding place. To protect his friend, Mikey picks up a gun from the ground and deliberately distracts the soldier. He sacrifices himself by pulling the trigger, ensuring Mark's safety. Heartbroken, Mark watches his only friend die. After losing his father, he now loses his best companion. His father's words echo in his mind. Surviving humans are more dangerous than zombies. He realizes fairies do not exist, and the mark on his hand is not magical. Filled with anger, He tears apart his beloved storybook. Now only one purpose remains: to find his long-lost mother. Mark reaches an abandoned city, where tall buildings have turned into ruins, streets lie empty, and terrifying screams echo everywhere. He conquers his fear and escapes from hordes of zombies again and again. At last, he arrives at the place shown in his mother's photograph. Without hesitation, he enters the building and searches room by room. Near a window, he sees a woman standing with her back turned. Believing she is his mother, he slowly walks forward, holds her hand and hugs her. But the woman does not turn. Instead, she suddenly bites his hand. Horrified, Mark realizes she is not his mother but a zombie. He pushes her away, shuts the door, and breaks down in tears. His final hope shatters. Just then, a broadcast echoes from a nearby building. A 3D video shows a man giving a speech, saying that the survivors' camp has collapsed because of people like them. His voice attracts swarms of zombies, but Mark no longer cares. With nothing left to live for, he puts on his headphones and silently prays. He does not notice the gunfire around him as soldiers shoot down the zombies one by one. When Mark turns, laser dots cover his body. Government soldiers have arrived and cleared the area. A female soldier notices his bite wound. She walks toward him carefully. Mark, with his last bit of affection, hugs her. As she embraces him, her eyes fall on the M mark on his hand. Shocked, she removes her mask and shouts to her team that he has the mark. The soldiers immediately take Mark to a safe place. It becomes clear that people with the mark are immune to zombie bites because they possess special powers. With this revelation, the story finally comes to an end.